I had an appointment with my pelvic floor therapist, and she told me that I have a new twinkle in my eye, which really surprised me because I feel like I'm coming down with a cold. But she told me that she notices I've been going, I think I've been going for about maybe 2 months now. I've been going. But she notices that I've been really slowing down, and even how I speak is much more calm. And every time I come in, she asks me how I'm feeling and what I've been doing, how I've been really supporting myself. And she notices that I'm a lot more conscious now of how I'm taking care of myself, and that I'm actually putting a lot of conscious effort into really, really, really taking care of and connecting with my body. So the fact that this work that I'm doing to really connect with this deep core of my body again, the fact that that's actually coming out and is visibly showing with the twinkle in my eye and the tone of my skin and my posture, that's a huge deal to me. And I think personally that a lot of the reasons that we experience so much disharmony in our lives, chaos in our minds, and so many things going wonky with our body is because we're simply not aware of this disconnect within the very deep core of our body. Because I wasn't even aware. All of the yoga that I have been practicing since 2020, and I was so focused in my yoga practice on mastering poses or strengthening and toning, but I was missing the most important piece, which was really connecting with my body. And instead of going faster, 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 better, harder, stronger, I should have really been focused on softer, grounding, anchoring, connecting. I notice in most spiritual communities, yogic communities, basically the entire world, all of the social aspect of everything, everybody's so focused on doing it faster, obtaining it faster, being better, pushing harder, getting more. You see what I mean? And so when we're doing this, we're actually coming more out of our bodies because we're reaching outside in order to obtain whatever it is we think we need that will help us feel fulfilled. But this is not the case. What we really are running around doing is basically running away from ourselves. And I think, I'm just coming to this realization now. I've been spending all of this time running away from myself when really I had to come back, slow down, stop adding a whole bunch of extra stuff to keep me busy or distracted, which I know many of us do. And I had to really connect with my body and develop this conscious awareness of how it was speaking to me. So I suggest, if you haven't been to a pelvic floor therapist, go see one. I really don't think that there's like a specific age that I think that we tend to think that that's something that we do when we're older once we start having problems. And what I want to tell you is I didn't expect to have problems at the ripe age of 41 years old. But the reason I ended up having an issue was because I was ignoring, I was treating my body like a machine. Because on the outside, it looks fine. Everything looks great, right? So I was treating my body like it could handle more than it actually was able to handle. And had I known all of this knowledge that I know now, I would have taken more steps and preventative measures. I would have slowed down. I would have been softer on myself. I would have learned how to like really release and relax my muscles rather than, constantly being tense and uptight and bracing for the next blow. I would have learned more preventative measures so that, there's so many women now who experience pelvic floor issues in their 60s, 70s, 80s because they simply weren't educated. They weren't aware. And then we only treat the problem once it becomes a problem. And so I really recommend seeing a pelvic floor therapist because it is extremely revealing. You learn so much about what's going on in the deep core of your body, that part of your body that you can't see. And if it's not something that you do regularly every week like I'm doing now, I would suggest definitely going once a year so you can really learn how you're actually holding yourself. Because I thought I was holding myself with so much love, care, and compassion. But the truth was, I was holding too tight. I was too tense. I was holding on to too much. And unfortunately, I had to find out the hard way. Now, luckily, my prognosis is not severe. And it's something that I can definitely manage, and it's something that I can likely improve with the proper management. But that's not always the case for everyone. And sometimes surgery is required. Surgery was suggested to me, of course, but right away I knew that that's not something that I wanted to do. And I wouldn't want you to find yourself in a situation or a position where it becomes the only option if it's something that you can prevent now.